I bet you're wondering how I got here. On a warlock, almost dead, in Warlords of Draenor. Well, let me take a step back and tell the tale of the third iteration of Obamasdrone. Also, this is a continuation of a challenge run. Here's the rules. They're also in the description. I hopped onto my Lightforged Draenei Paladin, Obamasdrone, ready to adventure once more. The first quest I picked up asked me to throw some rats into my wood chipper of the light. They're overall pretty easy to take out with one dubious pool along the way, but I just knocked out my first 2 quests of the day. I get sent down to the next farm, and they asked me to drop kick these rodents into the next century. Oh my god! Then I have to head down to the river, save some watermelons and some turnips. While I head down to the turnips though, I start getting chunked pretty bad. I do successfully scoop up all the watermelons and turnips, and it's time to get them down to the next farm in the most efficient way possible by using this big weird dog to launch them across the valley. Then I head down there on foot. They want me to get some turtle meat and some big dog shoulder meat. The turtles were pretty easy. I can pull a few and knock it out real quick, but the dogs, they hit really hard. It's tough getting these shoulder steaks, and at one point I end up killing 4 in a row without getting any drops. Eventually though, I am able to overcome the odds, beat down this last dog, and take his shoulder meat. I go to the next farm and spend a little time planning out my talents. Oh, how useless this time spent really is. He wants me to kill some wolves and then a big wolf boss. The wolves are pretty easy to kill, and at one point, one even runs right by me in aggro range, but doesn't aggro onto me, which is very nice. And then the big wolf.
Oh, he's not that bad. He's only 1800 health. I can take that.
I engage the wolf, and I'm not too worried about my health, as he isn't really hitting me that hard. Then he casts fear. That's not too scary, but then...
I need a charge, I guess, yeah. Oh! Oh, no! Oh! No! Fuck! Blizzard! Blizzard! God damn it, Blizzard! Why would you bamboozle me like this, you fuckers?
I'm just stuck in awe, thinking back on all of the good times I had with this paladin. Creating it, going to Jade Forest, smashing that subscribe button, dying. Ah, such good memories. It's time for the challenge run dumpster for this piece of trash, though.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I took a long look in the mirror, and I decided 2 things after this pain. 1, I'm gonna buckle down and stop taking risks. And 2, this will be the last character I do this challenge with, because I will need no further iterations. It was time to create this character who would undoubtedly hit 70. But who would I make? How could I look into the dead eyes of those 2 paladins who just tried their best, only to fall to my hubris? I finally decided on a warlock, with a caveat. I will not use a Voidwalker at all, unless it's just for sacking it. Otherwise, I'd just be a DPS while I have a tank the whole time, and that's not really that fun. And I'm off to the next leg of my adventure. But real quick, a question for y'all. What do you think would be the easiest or hardest class to do a challenge like this on? Why? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious what you think, just in case I need another iteration of Obamasdrone. Back to the warlock though, I was heartbroken over Obamasdrone falling, and I just hoped that Obamasdrone could fill the void. Fortunately, some folks hopped into my Twitch chat and made the next section of leveling fly by with some fun conversations. Thanks, chat. This time though, I'm gonna do the Night Elf zones. The Night Elf zones have a soft spot in my heart. My first character to hit level cap was a human warrior, but I really wanted a Night Saber as my first mount ever. So I remember scouring these lands for every last drop of reputation to get a Night Saber at level 40, and I accomplished it. I get started and I quickly learned that this warlock spanks mobs. She spanks them hard. Darkshore starts me out by killing some elementals and finding some nice corpses from the aftermath of Deathwing. Then I kill some crabs for meat and gather some shells. After that, I head into a cave full of trapped animals and miscellaneous evil creatures. Fortunately on the warlock, most things die before they can even touch me, so clearing the cave is pretty quick and easy. I smash a table, kill a boss, and head on out of that cave again. I get sent far to the south to kill some ghosties, and I also find this beautiful, glitched signpost. I can tell immediately that this is a sign from Blizzard themselves that this run will be the final run. There are 3 directions on this post, 3 attempts so far, This will be it. Thank you, Glitched Signpost, for the inspiration. I finish up here and head a bit further south, where the side effects of having engaged in conversations with chat really set in. I basically don't follow any quest objectives for a good bit while we talked about how cool old abandoned towns are. Eventually I wonder why I haven't had almost any quest objectives completed. But after a while I realize I have to loot the bears and I have to use these mushrooms on corpses to complete these quests. Thus far though, the Warlock has been able to spank everything in sight, but the next area does get a little bit more challenging. I have to start attacking some horde bases in the north part of the zone. There are a few times that I overpulled a little bit and I drop pretty low, but I'm able to clean up these horde, kill some bosses, then I fail an escort quest by ignoring the NPC, pick it back up, and then I pass the escort quest. With that, I'm sent way back down south to kill some cultists and elementals. It takes me a little bit, but eventually I do complete the mental gymnastics to solve that I am in the ruins of Aberdeen. That probably explains the scattered corpses and stench of death. One thing of note in this area is I get another escort quest, but the mob is like sprinting faster than I could even run. This lady is fuming. After finishing that up, I take a quick basset hound groaning at me break, and at this point it's becoming clear that the Warlock is a pumper, so I'm gonna skip ahead by a few hours now, as it's much of the same for a while. I do have a few highlights from this time though. There's this quest where a dragon flies me out of a cave and Blizzard didn't even try to justify the obscene clipping through everything. We also talked about future expansions and where they'd be. There's room for an island right here, I'd say. We could add another island. And I had an escort quest that I didn't realize until a bunch of mobs were on me.
Whoa, who's this guy? Is this the guy that I was killing earlier? Did I let him run? Oh, I had an escort quest. Oh, that dwarf is dead. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't even realize I had an escort quest.
I finish up Darkshore and I'm around level 23 and I head down to Ashenvale for a couple levels. By this point there certainly is a jump in the difficulty, but I'm still swinging dick on these mobs. Ashenvale starts me by running along the shore, looking at some statues and killing a ton of Naga. The Naga are pretty sparsely populated, so it's easy to snake around for objectives. Then I kill a Naga boss, but she has an obnoxious knockback that prevents me from casting. I try a few instants, pop my health stone, but she's still coming at me. I smooth brain through remembering that my Mortal Coil is an instant cast, and I use that, which gives me enough time to force feed her a Chaos Bolt like a mama bird. I next go into a horde camp where the mobs are a bit more tightly packed. At one point, I dropped to 9% before realizing that I don't have a health stone. I had a slight moment of panic, but fortunately the mobs were very low already, so I was able to kill them. Then again, I dropped pretty low against a rare mob. I'm certainly starting to feel the heat. After finishing up these quests, I head down to a Night Elf base being actively attacked by the horde. I have a quest to kill some of them, so I pull what I think will be a small pack, but
Nope. We're gonna use the guards. Go, guards, go. Yeah, get them, guards, get them. There we go. That's cool. That's using the environment.
I then kill some crazy old god floor tentacles down south, and turning these quests in lets me hit 25, which was my target level to begin running the Warlords of Draenor intro. You see, when I'm leveling characters, I like to do the Warlords of Draenor intro somewhere around levels 25 to 26. The WoD intro is quick and can get me to level 30 pretty easily, which lets me get flying. And since I can't fly in there, it's a nice little easy bridge from the mid-20s to being able to fly. So again, back to Stormwind I Hearth. I changed my time walking to Warlords of Draenor. I did a quick walk through the park to show the wholesome RP that Moonguard actually has all over, and then I ran on over. Before I could get to that beautiful, sweet WoD intro though, I had one major hurdle to overcome. Let's discuss the Blasted Lands in Warlords of Draenor real quick. The Blasted Lands after Warlords of Draenor is pretty fortified by the Iron Horde. The map was changed from the original, and there's a lot more mobs around the portal now. Around here are patrolling mobs. They're normal, they're usually in packs of 1 to 3, but the warriors have a charge that slows, and therefore they have a lot of chances to daze you off your mount. Then closer to the portal, around this area, are elite mobs. These are more sparsely located, kind of in packs of 1, but if I'm already on foot by warriors, and I have to hoof it over, there's no way I'm getting through the elites. I've died in this area on alts just blind running through the portal plenty of times to know how deadly this area can be. But once I get to Dadgar, all aggro is dropped and I start the WoD intro, so that's the target. So like a dog trying to sneak a snack from the cat poop sand, I slowly make my way through the mobs. I get up to a patrol and wait for it to pass, but the patrol starts curving towards me. I make a run for it, and fortunately, he somehow doesn't get pulled. I get to the top of a mountain to get a tactical look at all of the mob positions and formulate my next move. I looked around and I am off. I cut to the left of a patrol, then I make my way up the hill, snaking between two elites. I jump down into this big crack, and I'm home free to get to Dadgar, and I start the WAD intro. The WAD intro, I always love it. It's super cool. It feels super stressful. You have to get stuff done ASAP. So of course, I started out by freeing Ghoulstan and his homies. Then I run behind the portal after the portal battery shuts down, and I kill a bunch of Bleeding Hollow and burn down their houses. Running along, I get to the arena bit with Kargath Bladefist, but I do play it safe in that area as to not overpull or something, just hitting one little mob at a time. Also, those cinematics are still unskippable. Awesome. We continue running through this spooky zone into the mine where I free Draenei Hitler. And then we get out the other side. I arm the prisoners and they all stand in this really tight pack in the street because I forgot to pick up the next quest. I fight my way through this area, Dadgar blows the dam, and I get the Worldbreaker schematics on like the first kill. This is a pretty low drop rate quest item, and it normally takes me a good part of this area to actually get that drop, and I often have to sit there and focus on killing mobs just to get it. So that was a nice little treat. I head into this basement on the other side of the area to kill a mini boss for a key, and that was actually a pretty tense fight. I dropped pretty low and I had to pop some stuff, but we did survive. And again on the next mini boss, the big Gron with giant cannon strapped to his back, he also hurt me a bit, but I take him out as well. I climb up the Worldbreaker, I shoot the cannons at the orcs, we blow up the portal, and we are out of here and over to Shadow Moon Valley. Overall, the intro wasn't too bad. I had a few close calls, but it was nice, easy XP to get me close to 30. Yeah, like I said, close to 30. I finished the intro a bit above level 28, unfortunately. I was here anyway, so I have a couple more quest lines and bonus objectives in mind to get me the rest of the way there. Before that, I have to get my garrison stood up. I kill the birds, I mark the trees without much difficulty, but the Rockman Quakefist, he was rough. He has a knockback, and he does a lot of damage. Oh, and I forgot to make a health stone again. So I'm stuck casting Drain Life, hoping it gets me to enough HP before the next knockback comes in. And once I have him low enough, I decide to risk it for the biscuit, and I go for a Chaos Bolt to finish him off. With a little more damage on that, the Rockman falls, and I survive to fight another day. I finished getting the garrison stood up, and that is it for this leg of the adventure. I finished up at just under level 29, and decided to rest up in my garrison, get some rested experience, and steel myself for the next leg of the adventure. If you're watching this when it comes out, I'm currently live on Twitch continuing this challenge, and if not, that's okay. There's some fantastic content on the screen now to indulge in. Please like that subscribe button and subscribe on that like button if you enjoyed the video, as that helps me out a ton. I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video.